Brain fog sucks, and so I've put together a list of 10 things that you can try today to help eliminate it for good. Hey, I'm Shoman. I have a degree in health sciences and molecular biology, and I've put my degree to the test to find the best and most effective ways to eliminate brain fog, because this has been a personal struggle, and so I wanted to eliminate it for myself, and since I have done that, I want to eliminate it for you too. So, brain fog, what is it, and how can we get rid of it? Well, brain fog is a very interesting phenomenon. Essentially, it just comes from inflammation. Inflammation really is just your cells swelling up with water. Now, on the surface, this really doesn't sound that bad until we look at your brain. Now, this might get a little technical, but just bear with me because this is very important for you to understand. So in your brain, you have neurons. These neurons conduct signals, electrical signals, from one neuron to the next. And so let's just say each neuron has to conduct this much electricity in this much space. Now, the signal takes, say, 1 second to travel from this end of the neuron to this end of the neuron so that it can be passed on to all the other ones. This is your normal brain. If your brain is inflamed, and therefore if these swell up, these cells swell up, there we go, then the distance suddenly becomes, let's just say it doubles. So now it takes 2 seconds for the exact same signal to actually reach one end of the neuron to the other. And that is why it feels like your thinking is a little bit slowed down, because physically it's slowed down. I thought that was really interesting, and so if we eliminate this inflammation, then we can get our neurons back on track and eliminate this brain fog for good. And so this list is placed in kind of 2 different sections. The first one is the physiological things that you can do to lower this inflammation response. And the second half of the list is the secrets that I have found that I needed to be in some very high-end mentoring groups, read a lot of books, and do a lot of thinking and experimenting to really figure out. This is not something you're gonna find on basically any other list, because these are kind of secrets that a lot of people keep to themselves, but I can't keep it to myself because I want you to have as good of a life as you can. And so, on to the list. The first thing, and this is kind of one of the bigger things that you can try that is just very, very simple, are charcoal pills. Now, charcoal pills have been around for years. I remember when I was telling my mom, she said she took it when she was a child, and she's getting up there now. And so, this has been a time-tested method to eliminate brain fog and make you feel better. But why is that? So, if you take charcoal pills in the morning, essentially what happens is throughout the night, your body works very hard to eliminate all the toxins that it possibly can to make your body function as well as humanly possible. And so you need something to then mop up these toxins before they might get reabsorbed, because your body, though it's very intelligent, sometimes it can be a little bit dumb. And so it might actually reabsorb some of these toxins and just not flush them out of your systems and just have them linger. And so these charcoal pills, if you take them for several days in a row, help eliminate all of these toxins that are normally found in your body, which lowers your inflammation, which again shrinks those neurons, which helps you think just that much better. And so I strongly encourage you guys to try out charcoal pills first thing in the morning on an empty stomach right as you wake up. This has been a thing that I've been doing for a fairly long time, but I didn't really want to make a video on it just because it's not very video worthy, because all you're doing is you're just eating charcoal, but it's highly effective. Strongly recommend you guys check this out. The second thing, and this is kind of the harder one, I was debating whether or not I really want to put this in here simply because, well, it's eliminating sugary foods, it's eliminating processed foods, and I know this is something that a lot of people struggle with, so I really don't want to stress you guys out, but ultimately this is a huge step forward to make sure that you have as low inflammation as you can, simply because when you eat sugary foods, when you eat processed foods, a lot of times you're actually putting your body into a stress response because it's just trying to figure out what you're actually eating, because it really doesn't know. And if you're eating sugary foods, that's just very bad because it spikes your insulin, and that is one of the inflammation responses. And so you really want to see if you can eliminate as much junk food, sugary food, and processed food out of your diet as you possibly can if you're suffering from brain fog. I know this was a huge step for me, and I know that you can do it too. The third one is a very important one, but it's also free, and that is to get good sleep. Sleep is important for a very key reason for your brain health. And that is because what actually happens is your brain kind of squishes down and it just shrinks a little bit, which allows it to essentially wash itself of all of the negative side effects of thinking. It washes away all the toxins that your brain creates just from processing. And so if you can wash all of these toxins away, once again, that lowers inflammation, and that, as we know, is very good. Combine that with charcoal pills, and this is double good, because now you're flushing all of these toxins out of your brain and then out of your body. And then your brain can start again, clean slate, on a fresh day, so that it can do the best thinking for you that it can possibly do. Now, an upgrade to your sleep is something that I've talked about in the past, and that is lion's mane mushroom. Lion's mane mushroom, currently I'm taking Host Defense, I'm trying out all the different brands, is a fantastic thing to increase what's called your REM sleep cycle. Your REM sleep is kind of one of the most important sleep cycles of the night, and you actually need enough sleep for you to even start REM sleep. And this is a key time for your brain, for memory consolidation, and again, for that brain flushing that your brain wants to do, wants to clean itself out. And this actually increases the amount of REM sleep that you get. This is one of the few things that I found that can actually affect the amount of REM sleep that I get per period of sleep that I get. But you do still have to get enough sleep to actually get into your REM cycle. So getting enough sleep, listening to your body, is a crucial step to eliminating inflammation and therefore eliminating brain fog. The next one may also sort of be free, but this might actually cost you a little bit of money, and that is exercise. Even 20 minutes of a walk every morning will do so much wonders for your body, because your body was literally built to need exercise on a daily basis for it to function properly. Exercise has been shown to lower inflammation, to boost mood, so it is definitely something that you want to incorporate in your days if you haven't already. So if you haven't incorporated exercise and you do have brain fog, you might want to consider at least a 20-minute walk in the morning. Get some vitamin D, get some walks going, maybe put an audiobook in your ear so you're also learning something while you're doing your walk. Trust me, this one can be a life changer. If you do anything on this list, I strongly suggest this one. This next one is an interesting one because it's not something that I've talked about it on my channel all that much, and that is to boost your natural NAD levels. Now, your NAD is vital for healthy cell function, and as you age, you get less and less NAD produced in your cells, and so you need to replace it with supplementation, with even NAD infusions. But this one really is for the people that are 35 and above, because that's when your levels of NAD really start to lower. But even me, I have been very much benefiting from boosting my NAD levels. I've definitely saw myself having more energy due to certain supplements that I'm taking that I will be making a video on. So if you're interested in NAD and to make yourselves younger and healthier, then definitely hit that subscribe button, because that video is coming to you very soon. And if it's out already, it's in the description, or if it's in the iCard over here. Now that we have behavior out of the way, this is kind of the things that you can physiologically do. Now comes the hard part. These are the things that you can do to actually forever stop your brain fog. And that is because brain fog is not only caused by inflammation, but it's also caused by your brain just kind of shutting down and contracting. Not physically, but mentally, but spiritually. And so you're spiritually and mentally stifling yourself, and this causes your brain to slow down, to not be as creative. Essentially, this also causes brain fog, and this is not something that people ever talk about. Every single brain fog video out there just kind of focuses on the physiological reasons. And that is fantastic, and you should start solving the physiological basis for your brain fog. But actually getting your brain to want to cooperate with you, to want to actually put in effort, is the next and the harder and the bigger step for you to take. So this is not for the faint of heart. Now, if you're just kind of on the fence about it, this might not be the video for you, so you can click off and go watch something else. But if you actually want to solve your brain fog and you actually want to better your life, then keep watching, because this is the secrets that I found for how to actually accelerate your brain and to really get it into gear. And the first one is to go from an external locus of control to an internal locus of control. Essentially, to believe that you can change. Now, this sounds cliche, but this is huge. A lot of the reasons why so many in today's society are kind of shut down is because they think out there is all of the problems and all of the solutions. Whereas if you shift from everything is someone else's fault to kind of, I am in control of my destiny. I can control myself physiologically. I can control the way I think. I can control the way I am. Your brain is lifted up. And all of a sudden, it actually goes from kind of a coping mindset to a thriving mindset. It turns on, and it now starts to think about all the things that it can do differently, that it can do better. It starts to now solve the problems that you have rather than just wallowing in them. But this is a very hard step, so don't beat yourself up if this is not something that you can immediately do. It took me a very long time to shift my perspective from that external locus of control, from everything is outside of me, I have no control over anything, to I actually have control over the way I think, over what I put into my body, over my own problems. Now, this is something that I'm very passionate about, so if you want me to talk more about external versus internal locus of control, do let me know in the comments down below, or smash that like button, and I'll be making a video on that, because I think this is a very important topic that not a lot of people are talking about. The next step is a very important one, and that's essentially just the practical application of the first step, and that is the winner effect. Now, the winner effect, what it does is it wakes your brain up, because essentially your brain is very lazy. My brain is very lazy. Brains in general consume a lot of energy. A lot of the body's resources are just there to run the brain, and so it wants to do as little effort as possible. But if you send it the right signals, it all of a sudden will start to wake up and will start to actually use the body's resources to essentially solve your problems and to clear itself and all of that good stuff. So how do we cultivate the winner effect? Well, that is really just to celebrate each and every one of your small wins. You don't need to have just massive wins. You don't need to just celebrate graduations and Nobel Prizes and Oscars. No, celebrate each and every single little tiny thing that you normally wouldn't think of as a good thing as a win, and really congratulate yourself. Now, this sounds a little bit silly, but I even congratulate myself for waking up and getting out of bed in the morning. I get out of bed, I'm like, yes, I got out of bed. I got out of bed. I'm a winner. I'm great. I'm fantastic. I go, I take a cold shower. Yes, I took a cold shower. Fantastic, great, awesome. I had a slightly above average meal. Yes, I had a healthy meal. I'm great. I'm awesome. So really start to cultivate this in yourself. Now, this is not something that you're really gonna hear almost anywhere else, but this is so big and it's so powerful and it's helped me a lot. So definitely do give it a try. Just every time you do anything even remotely good, just congratulate yourself for it. You'll just A, start to feel better, and B, you'll really start to wake your brain up to new possibilities. Number 8 are positive affirmations. Now, I've kind of flip-flopped with affirmations a fair bit, but ultimately they are great because they build this winner effect that we've been talking about. They turn your brain on because simply just getting up every morning and telling yourself that you're awesome will just make you eventually believe that you are awesome. It doesn't have to be logical. That's one of the main things that stop me from doing affirmations is like logically it doesn't really make sense, but emotionally it really does. And if emotionally it makes sense to your brain, then it will respond to that and it will turn on and it will start thinking that you are awesome. And trust me, you are awesome. And this next step is probably the biggest tip that I can give you, and that is to smash that like button, guys. I would very much appreciate it, and it would tell me that you're learning something from this video and that I should be making more of these videos. And so if you want that, then definitely do hit that like button, and please consider hitting that subscribe button and that bell notification icon as well. This next one is very crucial, and that is to audit where you put your attention, to really take a look at are the things that you do giving you energy, or are the things that you do just taking energy away? Are they cultivating this winner effect, or are they cultivating more of a loser, more of a passivity effect? And you do this by essentially just taking a look at your social media consumption. Are the things that you consume making you happier, or are the things that you consume making you less happy? And if they're making you happier, great. If they're making you less happy, well, maybe consider changing it. Maybe figure out a reason why they're making you unhappy and maybe change it if you want. This one is a little bit esoteric, but it's helped me a lot, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. And number 10, this one is the most esoteric out of all of them, but it's probably the biggest and best. And if you do this one, then your life is gonna change, and that is to align everything with a higher purpose. What is your higher purpose? I don't know. That is something for you to figure out. But I know as soon as I aligned all the things that I'm doing with more of a higher purpose, with more of not just kind of getting by, but again, doing something bigger than myself, bigger and better, my brain really just turned on. As I'm doing these videos, every single time I finish, I just love myself, and I am so much better off than before I did these videos. That is because these really align with my higher purpose of making sure that you and I live the best possible life that we can. If you have made it this far, if you've made it through the list, let me know which one your favorite is, and let me know, is there something that I missed on the list that you think really help eliminate brain fog? Do let me know, because I might have missed it and it might be great for someone else to see it. And if it's really good, I might even pin you in the top comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.